Speaking to a gentleman who is no stranger to the Observer, always good to have him on. Let me, of course, welcome the president of the Online Gaming Agents of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Dean Persad. Pleasant good evening to you, Mr. Persad.
Good evening to you, Mikee K, and to your viewers.
Well, I know things are not well at all because the NLCB wants to ensure that the agents, according to their release, meet their financial obligations. And according to the NLCB chairman, Mr. Eustace Nancis, he said that the measures that are being put in place are necessary to maintain the board's integrity and protect government revenue. Now, he says, according to the NLCB, most of its 1,200 licensed agents comply with the terms. Then why is Peter paying for Paul in this situation?
Well, that's the question. That's the million-dollar question right there. By his own admission, most of the agents are complying with these terms and conditions. And if you read further down to that release, he is saying that only 36 agents' machines were deinstalled due to unpaid debts exceeding $4 million. And somewhere in that too, he gave a figure of $6 million.
Yes.
Right, Mikee? Mm-hmm. So, right there, you have 36 agents who are not complying. So deal with those 36 and leave the operations of the other agents as is, or try to improve it, right? And if you look at the calculations there, Mikee K, 36 agents in unpaid debts exceeding $4 million. Let us assume in exceeding $4 million, let us put $6 million to that. The 22 machines lower down that were given up or returned according to him was because of location closures or low profitability, right? So that was an agent making a business decision. So that has nothing to do with us. So we're going back to the 36 agents, $4 million. When I calculated 36 agents at $4 million and I made an average, because we wouldn't know how much each agent would have been owing, right?
Right.
But you do an average, you'll come up with $111,000 and $111.11. So let's put that as $112,000 each agent is owing. You suppress their machine over a year now. According to the contract, an agent weekly sales should at least be $25,000. Most agents, all agents covering that and more. Yeah. But let us use that minimum figure of $25,000 weekly. 36 by $25,000 weekly is $900,000 weekly for the NLCB. By the month, that is $3.6 million in just 1 month, 4 weeks. So in 2 months, you're recovering $7.2 million if you leave the terminals operational.
Right.
Alongside that, you should have a payment plan agreement with the agent to pay his debt. So you have the agent operating his terminal, making an income for NLCB, a big income for NLCB. In 2 months, you recover $6 million one time. And then you have the agent paying his debt, his individual debt with a payment plan. So there you go. That's the fix right there. No $1 million in legal battles, right? And you're achieving your objective. Everybody happy. $6 million now, I want to add to that. It's not real money. It's not really the money that is outstanding at all. Because lumped in that, there are agents who have issues with weekly settlement figures because of malfunctioning machines, right? So that is not really, it's not real dollars that they're losing there. And then you have agents who are suppressed and their interest rates added to what was the original amount, which might be $25,000, right? Let's just call it arbitrary figures. And NLCB has now added interest to that in an arbitrary way, and it is now that $25,000 is, let's say, now $75,000. So the real figure is not really $6 million, right? Because you have all these other monies injected, all these other factors injected to bring it up to that amount. Right? So, I don't understand why it is that they insist on all these harsh measures and to affect the remaining 1,164 agents when you have 36 agents. And when you could have sorted out that problem with the 36 agents, it just does not make any sense to me. And I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
There's an agent as well. That's why I'm telling you that they lump everything into this $6 million, right? There's an agent who got robbed on Ibita Avenue there. The machine has been closed, suppressed since the 24th of April this year, right? And they adding interest to that money. They have not worked out a payment plan for that individual, for that agent. Machine down, and they charged interest on the money that she was robbed of, you know. That was a robbery. Police report made, they have your receipt and everything, report made to NLCB and so on. So that is so unfair, plus it is not a real figure. So
I mean, a lot of these things that I'm looking at here really and truly is the logic seems not to be here. First of all, discontinuation of proof of payment. So starting December 1st of this year, the NLCB will no longer accept pictures of night bag deposit slips as evidence of payment being made. So payments due to the NLCB must be fully processed by the bank and received into the agent's EFT account with the NLCB. Now, what happens if the bank is not on par? I mean, banks make mistakes all the time. What if for some reason something isn't transferred or the timing of it doesn't move? What happens then?
Well, today an agent called me. I will not call his name. In Chaguanas there, and the bank lost his deposit. Not lost his deposit. Told him that his deposit was short by $4,325. They called him 3 weeks after he made the deposit. They called him on Friday going. Told him that his deposit short, and he has to make the deposit because when he spoke to NLCB, they said, listen, if you go and make the deposit, we will not suppress you. So he said, but I made the full deposit, but I'll still go and make that shortfall that you all are claiming. So he went and he made the shortfall. Lo and behold, the bank, he investigated with the bank and he kept going at them. They admitted to him today via a letter, which I have in my possession, that they made a mistake and they will pay him back the money. Right? So that is the point that you're talking about, you know. Supposing that guy did not pursue his position, right? NLCB just decided, look, listen, you in their mind that you have a shortfall here, the bank say you have a shortfall, and we're going to suppress your machine. You have to pay $1,000 reactivation fee, and now you have to pay $25,000 a bond to get back your machine. So that is the kind of problems, logistical problems that we have in, and it's happening every day. The guy called me this morning. Yesterday I had another issue.
And NLCB doesn't want to hear anything. Is that what you're saying?
No. That is what I'm saying. They don't want to hear anything, and they don't want to do anything about it.
So they are eager to suppress the machine.
Very eager because Mikee K, they are using the suppression now, the suppression factor, to bring all agents in line to pay that $25,000 bond who have not had that as yet. And those will be many hundreds of the older agents, like including myself, who did not have to pay that.
So they're trying, right? They're trying to raise money. Now the thing about it is this: when it comes to having to pay now, if your machine is suppressed, why is there a separate account to get that machine back up running? Why can't you just simply continue putting it in the account that is registered there for you for them to take out the money?
Right, and that is another good question, because last week an agent called me and she inadvertently made her deposit into that account. And they called her, the suppressor machine. She said, well, no, I made the deposit. When she went back in the bank and checked, and the deposit went into the reactivation account or the bond account, whatever different account they had. Right, so you're confusing people, right, because you have to do the night save. And she definitely put the wrong account number into it, and they suppress her. So these are the logistical problems that they're having with these night save and the different accounts. And NLCB, I mean, prior to all these, they didn't have all these problems, so I don't understand why they don't revert to what we're asking them to do.
Okay, let's look at number 2, mandatory payment when terminal limits are exceeded. Now, NLCB internal controls, the NLCB ascribes to each agent a daily sales limit, right, based on the agent's average daily sales. And once the agent's daily sales reach the net due sales limit, the operation of the terminal is automatically suppressed. Why is this policy I'm trying to understand.
Again, Mikey
Yeah,
K, you have a business, right? Let me give you an analogy of this, what they're saying here.
Right.
You have a business. You have your job, you're working somewhere. You leave a worker in the business and say, listen, as soon as you cross $10,000, you look up my business and go and make that deposit because I don't trust you. I need to see my money in the account. But the guy going to make the deposit, you don't know if he's really making the deposit. He calls you and said, I made the deposit. Right? I want you to read the last line in that same policy, number 2 policy, read it. Only in these instances will an unstamped deposit slip as proof of payment be accepted. That contradicts policy number 1.
Number 1, exactly. Yeah.
Discontinuation of proof of payment.
Yeah.
So you don't want no proof of payment as in the first policy, but in your second policy, I will use a deposit slip as proof of payment. But that deposit slip is a deposit slip that I make out, not a deposit slip that the bank gave me.
All right. Now let's look at number 3. Non-payment is considered larceny. Agent must make their weekly deposits in full and in a timely manner in accordance with the terms of their contract. Non-payment by agent of the full weekly deposits to the NLCB, as indicated by the weekly sales statement, will be treated as misappropriation of funds, larceny, and breach of trust, and the NLCB will treat such cases by taking appropriate legal action, as well as referring the matter to the TTPS. Now, you're saying that there's going to be some man hours spent by the TTPS to come after an agent who may have some complication. NLCB doesn't want to hear that. Why isn't that police man hours being used to shut down the illegal way that is taking taxpayers' money? Basically, it's depriving us of benefits of tax, and that's a big thing now. Whether it's property tax or whatever tax, government needs money. They made it quite clear. Some can't even be accounted for, but they need money. But money is sitting right there. Money is there every single day when people are playing it illegally, and these people who are running these shops don't pay taxes. They don't pay as far as labor. They don't pay any of the employees. They don't give anything basically to the community. But yet still you, as an agent, a legal agent, for whatever reason, didn't make your payment, that is going to be referred to the TTPS, not the illegal one.
Yeah, and we have talked about this illegal playway for the longest while, and nothing has been done, right? But that policy that you talk about, policy number 3, right? That is constructed. That is a illegal sort of construction of that policy. They cannot tell you non-payment is considered larceny and misappropriation of funds and so on will be treated as larceny. You have to have evidence of larceny. You can't tell a man it's larceny until you prove that. That has to go to court and the judge has to say, well, look, it is proven that it is larceny. What I don't understand who drafted that statement, and I said in an earlier report that they're playing police now. Because that is not their job. And as you rightly say, why are you now engaging the police service into these matters that you can handle internally? As I just outlined, you can handle these matters internally.
What I can't understand here is that you're suppressing the machine, but yet you expect payment. So how is the agent going to function if they can't have access to the machine?
Right, and that is my only source of income. So how do I pay you? Right? And then I can't pay you $10,000 just like that, but you decide to impose an interest rate on that and make that $10,000, $20,000. And then you want me to take out a bond now for $25,000
right,
and a reactivation fee of $1,000 to get back my machine. How is that possible?
That's $26,000. So you're right. That's number 4. Provision of a bond for all suppressed agents. All agents whose terminal is suppressed due to non-payment, late payments, or short payments of their weekly deposit will be required to provide a bond for a sum not less than $25,000. This basically tells everyone who is listening and watching that they basically want the agent to deliberately fall into this trapping.
That's right, and it seems to be a conspiracy or collaboration with the banks to do that. So that once NLCB make their sweep on a Thursday, they say 200 agents don't have their money in the kitty, right? The funds are not remitted to our account. It has not hit NLCB's account. So 200 agents are shut down, and you now have to pay that $25,000 bond and $1,000 reactivation fee. As you say, $26,000 now by 200 agents.
All right.
So that seems to be some sort of plan and some sort of arrangement and some sort of deliberate attempt to extract this money from agents who I say that they are now targeting as a source of income and a source of revenue.
So,
because how else could you put this?
Yeah, Mr. Persad, where do we go from here? I think that is the big question. My thing is, if you're going the full distance with this, it has to be outside the home of the finance minister. They're very disconnected. They don't understand how people are trying to keep their head above water. They don't care about the fact that you have made investments, you're paying workers, you're paying taxes. They don't care about that. Mr. Nances is just simply a public servant, a puppet. He is no more than a hatchet man. That's it. He's neither here nor there. But the issue here is the line minister, the finance minister, needs to know once and for all that you cannot come out here and play with the people bread and butter. These things do not make sense. And if the government is looking for money, why should be the legal online gambling be attacked while they leave the illegal gaming to go on untouched and yet still deprive this country of millions of dollars?
Yes, well said. And I have been sending emails to the Prime Minister and to the Minister of Finance, trying to get a meeting with them for them to understand our position. We have to offer positions and what are our concerns. I did that over the years, and just last month I sent out twice 2 sets of emails to both gentlemen, and I have not received any response from them or any acknowledgement letter. And if after I explained the folly in what they're doing here with this 36 agents that they're talking about, and I am just using the figures that the chairman gave in his release, I'm not putting any haphazard figure here, I'm not putting my own figures. If after I made that calculation of how they could have recover that $6 million in just 2 months, they don't take note of that and pay attention to what is happening at NLCB, I don't know what else will get their attention. But to answer your question, part of your question too is what's next, and we have attorneys looking at the document, looking at the contracts, looking at whether contracts and policies they are not the same thing, they are 2 different things, and looking at the contractual arrangements that we have, and if it gives them the right to do these things that they are doing and to impose these policies upon us unilaterally. So we are at that stage in terms of the legal aspect of it.
And we have seen this before with the scrap iron dealers and many people who are simply just trying to keep their head above water. If you do not send a strong message, people are going to take your bread and butter out of your mouth. And the time has come for us to say enough is enough. Especially when you have the illegal gaming going on and nothing is being done. You go to the very same TTPS and you make complaints and they tell you it's out of their hand. Why? Because sometimes you see officers lining up to play the game at the illegal way. So everybody's throwing a blind eye. And that to me is the ultimate disrespect. You want to come down on people and you want to tell them, listen, pay $25,000, do this, do that, while you have people who are running their games and depriving the country of good money. Something is wrong. So my thing is, take it straight to the finance minister. Straight to the finance minister. Let him know. It's an election time. Send a strong message.
I am hoping that he received the message loud and clear, because it's all over now, it's all over the media, and I have done a calculation here that will solve the problem in 1 month, 2 months as a matter of fact. So I don't understand why they're not paying attention to this. And as I said before, I have written to him and to both him and the Prime Minister seeking a meeting with both gentlemen.
And if you don't get a reply, let's say in the next 3 days or whatever, everything is set and ready to go? Yeah, we have plans in place, and we are set and ready to go with our course of action. Yeah. All right. I wish
So, yeah.
I wish you all the best. Please, you will inform me, and I will spread the word that people, this is the action that's going to be taken, and we have to stand in solidarity with these agents. I don't know what is going on in this country. I ask myself that every day. Why is it that people, especially people who are just simply trying to make ends meet, seem to be railroaded by this administration? I don't care what party card you have in your pocket, your purse, or your wallet. The main thing is people should be able to stand up and say, listen, I am here, I'm doing a job, and if you can't respect it, why put this extra pressure on me? Doesn't make sense. And while others are getting away with it scot-free, that's the hurtful part about it.
Exactly. So I agree with you totally, Mikey K, and I hope, as I say, that the Minister and the Prime Minister, they are listening, that we have their ears, and that they will do something about this, because this is really unbearable now. Very unbearable.
Wish you all the best. It's always a pleasure having you on. You let me know what to do. And my thing is, go to the Finance Minister house, parang the right house. Parang the right house. Send a message. And take everybody, let them look hungry, let them look real. Take them in front of the gate. And when he press the button to drive in, you must see all these faces. Man, you touching my bread and butter.
Yes, I agree with that. But I mean, at the end of the day, why do we have to do these things? Why it is, as you're asking that big question?
Well, welcome to Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Persad.
Yes, please. That is the problem here.
Have a good one. Take care.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mikey.
You're welcome.